Welcome to The Social Sippers. I am Stephanie Clemens, and this is
Jessica Maloney.
And we are here with our special guest,
Very
Zac
excited.
Pitts.
Special.
Yeah.
Very special.
Very
guest.
I
special.
feel
Very
special
special.
now.
Well, good, good. And we are the Social Sippers, so we are sipping today on some Pinot Noir. Is that a good one for you?
I mean, I will drink whatever.
So
Now,
you
I
just said wine. Yeah, I'm like red,
well,
white.
See,
So I had
wasn't
to throw
sure
guess.
because in your type form, that could I have checked multiple boxes?
Yes,
You can
could.
I didn't want to be. I didn't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be that guy that came
Be
in
that
like
guy.
a
You gotta
lush
be that guy.
that showed up and been like, okay, where's the beer? Where's the wine? Where's the
what are we
cocktails? The
testing?
spirits?
What are
Yeah.
we testing
Oh,
today?
so you are saying if we do a tasting situation, you
you're
need to
in.
come back then.
Ooh, what if you did a little flight situation? There you go. Partner up with a local brewery.
Well,
try out
that's in the
two.
works.
Part two.
That's in the works.
That's in the works.
It is.
So that wasn't just a million dollar
Wait, what's in the
idea I just
works?
gave you.
What?
Doing a brewery.
Oh.
And with,
Oh,
with
yeah,
a flight
yeah.
and like the sipper is so we can,
Oh, they are
that's
going
in-
to do a sipper thing?
That's what we talked about. Yeah.
man.
Sweet. I'm in for that. Are you
I just,
coming back for
I
that?
just got the intel. I just got the inside scoop.
You did.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I mean, you
And
got
you
no
spilled.
details, but
I've got.
You spilled the beans.
I have
on
my
it.
sources.
it's
Don't you
true.
worry.
It's very true. You just told us you got a lot of connections.
So
All
what do we
right.
have? It's a Pinot Noir, right?
Yep,
Okay.
Cooper's Hawk Pinot Noir.
I've
Did you
been-
want to sniff and swirl?
I'm not
a
that
little bit?
fancy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that fancy. I'm sure it's. I mean, I'm a barefoot guy. I'm
Okay.
kidding.
You're going
I'm
over
not.
quantity
I mean,
over
they're
quality.
award-winning.
No, just
So I am
What do you
doing
have
dry
going on?
January. So this is
She's being boring.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
we're
I
halfway
call
through.
it admirable.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So it's just a non-alcoholic.
square.
I've never throw it out there. This is true.
I mean,
I have not
call it
had
what it
this
is,
one.
huh?
It's called Free AF. It's a cucumber flavored non-alcoholic cocktail. So
Free AF.
Free AF.
Mmm. That's hip.
Sounds delicious. I like the can.
I know it's good
Can's
branding, right?
nice.
Yeah. Who makes it?
No idea.
Okay. Well,
Well, I guess.
Free AF.
yeah. Free
Oh,
AF.
this is supposed to be like a G&T.
So Free AF is
Yes,
the name
gin
of the
tonic,
brand.
yeah.
It's not the name of the drink.
Yes.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
it's cucumber flavored G&T. So a little fake gin and tonic.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Well,
cheers.
I like
Thank you
the
so
real
much
gin
for
and
the
tonic. Yes.
the invite today.
I mean, maybe we have to have a gin tasting. Are you into gin?
You know, you have one bad experience with one drink,
Yep.
and you never have it ever
With
again.
one drink or multiple drinks of the same kind?
So
Multiple
one
drinks.
session.
So the first and only time I've ever had gin, it was in college, and it's like that's where you have all those bad experiences, or many great ones. But there was a drink that I remember we drank it all night. It was just some like.
Was it called like?
But-
Harry Buffalo.
Exactly.
Or there was I
Well,
didn't maybe throwing gin in that, but maybe.
But I just remember that was one of the most hungover I've ever been. But the other time, it was called a.
oh, you went back for more.
Well, this was a different drink, and I haven't had this
okay.
drink ever since either. It was called a prairie. So the first drink was gin. It was something that had gin in it. We just had a lot of it, and I just remember being really hungover the next day. The second drink was called a prairie fire. It was on my 21st birthday. We went to the Milanos on Brown Street. Went to UD, and this drink was tequila and Frank's Red Hot Sauce.
Ooh.
Oh,
And so here's the deal.
how'd that?
Well, so I had the first one, and again, being like, oh, I'm 21 now, and I'm going to be cool. Oh, that was great. I'm going to get another.
Oh no.
And I did. That one didn't stay down. But I wanted to seem like, oh, that was great. I'm
Exactly.
going to get another one to
So
show.
wait, it was a shot or was it a drink?
That was a shot. But it was
Okay.
Frank's Red Hot Sauce and tequila.
Oh my God. What was
Doesn't
it called?
that just
a prairie
sound-
fire? It sounds
It
terrible.
sounds
Prairie
horrible.
fire. I'm pretty confident that was the name of it.
And I'm a
That's what-
tequila person. Like I like tequila.
Well,
but
see,
not with some hot sauce.
I do love a margarita. Like I love a margarita. I don't think like I'll go out of my way to have a tequila shot. I don't. Like people will ask, like, you want to do a shot? How about tequila? I'm like, no, that sounds awful. Like I do, but I do love a margarita. Absolutely love it.
I mean, yeah.
So
Cheers to
I would
that.
like to see that on
right,
the
cheers.
menu for drinks.
Yes. Okay.
If
We
we-
could
A margarita
do, yeah,
tasting. We can do a margarita tasting.
Margot as an option.
I always said like how cool. Like I really want to have a margarita machine in the corner of my kitchen.
So are you like a frozen guy?
Or
Well, let's go ahead and just be specific here. If I go to Elsa's, I will get a regular margarita with a frozen topper. Have you had that? Ooh, I see you've never
no,
experienced
I didn't know
this.
that was a thing.
I
So
didn't
you
either.
just get yourself a nice on the rocks margarita, and then it's like, I can't decide if I want the raspberry, the strawberry, or whatever. So they'll do a little on top of your on
like
the rocks.
whipped cream of frozen margarita.
No. It's like it's a margarita on the rocks,
right?
So like the liquid, and then you get the frozen stuff.
They already have.
So it's kind of like a little mix and match.
Because they pre-make their frozen.
Yes.
Well, they pre-make pretty much everything, I think. But
okay, check that out.
So then you could do the lime and then top it with like raspberry or whatever. Is that what you're saying?
I do the lime with I'll switch between raspberry and strawberry. I'm a connoisseur, I guess, of my Elsa's bad ones.
So you went to El Maison recently?
I did.
What's your favorite margarita in the Dayton area?
Oh.
This is not where I thought the conversation would go, but we're going to go with it. Yeah, we like this.
The world is our oyster right now. We
Right,
can go anywhere we want. I do love a bad one. A bad one is really good. I also love an El Mason's margarita. They're great. But if you ever go to El Mason and you get a margarita, get their mistletoe margarita. I'll just leave it there. It's got cranberry in it. It's delicious.
Is it just seasonal though, or not? Since it says mistletoe.
I was there last night, and there were the couple next to me ordered
some.
some.
I still have my tree up, so it's still the season. So.
It is the season. Still up. It's still up.
It is.
She's not kidding.
And I'm not the only one in my neighborhood.
What's today's date? Is it the 19th?
I don't know.
16th.
No.
16th.
You go 21st?
Yeah.
Around?
Yeah. Around MLK
Is there
Day.
significance of the 21st?
No.
Oh, okay.
You generally it tends to be that day every year. She's like, I'm done with this.
I don't put it up before Thanksgiving. Sometimes I'll get it up Thanksgiving-ish. So usually it's into December by the time I get it up. And this year it was really late that I had gotten it up. And I'm just like, no, I'm not done. I'm not ready to put it away yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still feeling festive.
But I've noticed there's a lot of trees out still. And I think it's because of the snow.
There is in our neighborhood too. I'll give you that one this time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't set up a Christmas tree in a couple years.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, now the conversation took
He's
another
like,
turn.
edit. We're going to edit that out.
I love, it's my favorite holiday. I do love Christmas, but it's just, what I never want to be is the guy who sets up just does the whole house and lights. It's just way too much work.
No, that's too much.
So you're going for nothing then? Is there
it's all or nothing?
Christmas is in your heart. It's that special
not in
feeling.
your decor.
It's not in your
Hallmark
decor.
Channel.
Yeah. That's the next level of achievement. I want to star in a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You heard it here
with Donna
first
Kelsey
on the social slippers. What's that?
With Donna Kelsey.
I don't know
Is that
who
what she's
is.
doing?
Yeah, she's
Mama
in some
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Football.
And
Yeah.
the only reason we know who she is
It's
for sure.
because of her sons.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
and Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Oh, right. But we knew about her before.
you
Taylor
were
Swift. Yeah.
listening to the podcast long before that.
Yeah, that's the funny
We're gonna
part.
note that publicly.
I haven't listened to it.
I've only listened to she'll be like, listen to this one, so I'll listen to snippets. But
they had though this is way off topic. They had Will Ferrell on there after did you see the photo of him at the hockey game and he was in his elf costume?
Yes.
I did see that.
So he went back and and he explained why he did that and what he did. It was pretty funny.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't know they had the podcast.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
shows how much I'm up to
into
speed
podcasts,
and cultural
Into
awareness.
podcast.
Yeah. What are we doing here? What are these mics?
I thought we were just drinking.
right. I was here for some wine.
Yeah. I was like, this is the weirdest date I've ever been on.
That's hilarious.
Triple date.
at a real Remax office. Whoa.
In a little
lot of lighting.
cameras.
Oh, funny. All right, get back on.
We're
topic.
getting off.
All
the
right,
rails.
we
I
are.
love it.
You said nothing is off limits.
Right,
so.
right.
let's do
so
it.
we
I
went
love
there. Okay.
All right.
All right.
You are from Dayton.
And you went to UD.
Born and raised. Yep. Went to UD.
Went
Where'd
to
you go to
UD?
high school?
I went to Chaminade Julienne.
Oh my gosh.
Did you go to CJ?
I did not. My
Oh.
son is there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year is he?
He's a sophomore.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. He loves it.
I
Did
loved
you
it
love
too.
it or not?
I did. I mean, honestly, well, you know what I don't love is that they don't have they didn't have all the cool things that they have now. That big
A great
Roger
football
Glass
field.
stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't
Yep.
there. You know,
Practice field.
We had the Faust, which was like that old,
the building that they took down.
asbestos-ridden, dungeon of a gym facility. So that's not even there. And actually, there used to be a street there. There used to be a street, and there's no longer a street that runs through. That's where
where Roger Glass is now.
Yeah,
Is that
there
what
used
you're
to be a
saying?
road that went between that. It's no longer there. But yeah, I heard they have air conditioning now inside the building.
Well, all the schools have air conditioning,
Right,
and then they
right.
did not when
And
we
if
were
they
in
don't,
school.
they're tearing down that school
Oh yeah,
and building a
they
new
have
one.
to have AC
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I remember we had this one teacher, that was his punishment to get people to stop talking. He said, if I hear one more word, I'm shutting the door and I'm closing all the windows.
He's gonna smoke you guys out.
That was punishment. Like, think about that now in
If
today's
that
society.
happened now,
It would be very.
It would be all over social media. It would be
Teacher
just
shuts door and shuts
Oh.
off air conditioning.
fire canceled. The whole school, the whole
everything's
system would be canceled.
No, like different time. I don't
Right.
know.
Yes. Definitely a different time.
But honestly, like, I'm okay with that's how it was.
Well, right. It made you a better person, right?
Well, it thickens your
strong-
skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, like-
Consequences.
And I don't know. It's a great story. It's a great story for our podcast now.
It is. And you didn't name the teacher, so we're good.
I
there.
didn't.
Right. Right.
I
Exactly.
didn't. See, I know
might
my
still be
limitations.
there. You
Right,
never know.
right. You're well versed. So if you guys recognize him, he's literally a local celebrity. He's been on the news. He's been on Living Dayton. If they recognize your voice, if nothing else.
You want to hear something that I've been self-conscious about?
Your voice.
Well, one time this girl said, your voice kind of sounds like Michael Cera. I'm like, Michael Cera has a very boyishly high-pitched voice.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you
I don't
do.
either.
Super bad.
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
I do know that. Okay.
I do know that. And your voice does sound like that.
No, I don't. I'm gonna have to re-listen. I'm not gonna watch Superbad. That's like
you're gonna listen now.
Not as a full
Okay,
ass
right.
adult. I'm not watching Superbad, but I'll have to go back and compare. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep you
Not that
posted.
much of a complex. But no, yeah. Did the news for many years. I mean, altogether it was probably close to 15 years that I was in TV.
Oh wow.
You know, born and raised in Dayton. My first job was actually at Channel 2. I started off as an intern, and then my first official paid gig was running teleprompter. That was my first gig
All right.
for the evening news.
Did you ever mess with the teleprompter?
No. I liked
Like on Anchorman?
like putting some words that yeah. No. I ran teleprompter for the evening news, and at the time it was Mark Allen. Remember him? And Michelle Kingsfield and you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the evening
real
news.
deal.
This is the real,
Right.
you know. And so, but I was always very like mindful of like him, like basically I can make him look awful, like by
Yeah, that's
just,
a good point.
and
Mhm.
you know, so it's like I was always very mindful that like his credibility is in my hands.
So how old were you when you were running the teleprompter? Were you
20
through college?
21, 22.
Okay.
I'd say I was about 21.
So they let a kid run the teleprompter.
They let
Basically.
a little bouncing baby boy run the teleprompter. Which it's what's funny is there are a lot of TV stations around the country now that don't have teleprompter operators anymore. The anchors the anchors control it themselves.
Ah.
So I mean, TV is going through a change, right? And you know,
Yeah.
people aren't watching as much as they did, so have to save money elsewhere. But a lot of people, in my first job and another station I was at, they control them with their foot. It's like a gas pedal. So there's these.
So the speed. So they're speaking and controlling the speed that the words are going at the same
think of
time?
it like just like literally like a gas pedal.
Wow.
Each anchor has their own foot pedal, and they're controlling what they're reading on the prompter.
I would not have the dexterity to do
you'd
that.
Have to have, that's takes
It's
coordination.
it is I mean, I had to do it a few times, and I mean, honestly, you're just like, where's the brake? Yeah. So, but Channel 2, as of the time of this recording, still has a teleprompter operator. Sometimes you can get a teleprompter operator that falls asleep, especially when I was doing the morning news. There were a couple
Remaining nameless.
again, remaining nameless. Like they would fall asleep because it's 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, and they're running the prompter for you, and you can just see it. Like you start reading a story and it just never stops, or you're starting to read a new story and it never starts, and you're like, so it's happened.
That's
I've witnessed
funny.
it.
Or probably hungover or whatever, right?
I've seen
Drinking
many
too
of things.
What'd you say? Desert fires? What?
Prairie fires.
The lush green of a prairie, not the
Well,
dry
I don't see
desert.
tequila in a lush green area, but okay.
And then you set it on fire.
Right.
I'm curious if they still serve those. I may have to, I haven't been to
You
Milano's.
might have to go to Milano's now.
I
and find
guess.
out.
I haven't been to
Order
Milano's in
one.
a long time either. So
To go with probably one of the older bartenders, and maybe they would know that.
it's like, let me tell you about this drink I had once. Do you still have that on tap?
Maybe
I think you should
served
do a
that to
video
you.
with this.
Yeah?
I think it should be a video.
Okay, well, I will not. I mean, again, I'll stop at one this time. I'm not going to try to be a badass. I'm like, I'm going to have another prairie fire. Because we know what happened.
Just check it out. Just check it out.
Well, was it 20-something years? I'm trying to like maybe guess your age. 15 years?
I'm 36. I just turned 36.
Oh, you're a baby.
Yeah.
So it's only been 15 years. You still got it.
You're fine.
You're like,
You're
what am I
fine.
to?
Got
You're
it.
fine.
I don't know. I can't hang like I used to. I mean, we'll see if we can finish this bottle of wine. I don't know. We'll find out.
Stuff's like, challenge
Let's
accepted.
go.
I've got a couple meetings later on this afternoon that I'm not looking forward to. So let's.
So this
All
will
right.
make it better.
Well, you only
Yes.
talk for a living, right?
I only talk for a living. Yeah, and now are you going off of your
Little bit.
Your
a little bit?
misconception.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the misconception of what you do? Well, we didn't even get there. Wait, what do you do?
Well, what I do currently.
talk.
So basically, what I'm doing now, and I got to a point where I loved what I did. Like, it was the dream career. Like, I always wanted to be a morning news anchor. Checked it off my list. Like,
Yeah.
Living Dayton was the goal that I had for the longest time. Again, like when I was running teleprompter, they were still coming up with the idea of Living Dayton, and like I was like, I'm gonna host that one day. I'm gonna host that one day. And what a lot of people will do is bounce around to different markets to really cut your teeth and get that experience. And one day that opportunity kind of fell into my lap. So I did that and did the morning news. And now I'm at a point where like times are changing. People aren't watching TV like they used to.
For
And,
sure.
they're doing podcasts or listening to podcasts, watching podcasts, social media. That's where the attention is. So you need to be where the attention goes. And I do have that level of kind of that competitive edge of coming from that media background. Now, if I could take those same principles and apply them to social media, helping businesses promote themselves, doing something very similar to what I used to do on Living Dayton, being this local spokesperson, if you will, there's a real need for people to have that exposure. And if I can bring that to them, doing something that I used to do on TV, but help them promote themselves on their social media to my audience as well, there's a lot of value there, and it's something that's not being done. So I'm super excited about it because I know it works, and I love doing it. I enjoy doing it, and there are difficulties though because it's like I don't have a blueprint necessarily to follow.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm trying to create something that hasn't really been done yet.
So you noticed a gap.
Yeah.
Between TV and what the types of media people are actually consuming.
Yeah, because I mean we have the attention span of a goldfish these days.
For sure. Yes,
And
100%.
people are glued to their phones. I mean, we're using phones right now as cameras. I mean, like it's you have to be where people are. You have to be where people
In
are.
order to
Like,
market your business.
like if in real estate, like you invest heavily in mailers as you once did, or what? Like right? Because
No. Yeah.
it used to work at one point, but as you evolve and attention goes elsewhere, you have to be where the attention goes. And TV is really slow to the pull on that. In some regards, there's some that are trying to move in that direction, but if you're what's the Ricky Bobby thing? If you're not
You're not first, you're
You're
last.
not first, you're last.
Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening. And so, I find that a lot of businesses just really struggle with social media. A lot of them, like if they promote this, like they'll post just like a little picture and it's like, but what's that picture even say? Like you want to be doing video, you want to be doing live video, you want to be engaging. And again, like why I asked right away when we sat down, like, can I be Zac?
Yeah.
Can I, accidentally let a bad word slip out, because it's like what people see now is they can smell fake from a mile away. And a lot of that is because you can just see whether it's politicians or just, you can tell someone has an agenda. But if you're being yourself and being genuine and authentic, people will gravitate towards you because it's like, oh, they're like me.
Right. Yep.
And we attract those who are like us. So the more that you lean into that just that genuine version of yourself, authentic, and you're vulnerable, people say like, oh, you're like me. I trust you now because you're not putting on Mr. Perfect. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. So I think that would also be the other misconception is thinking that you have to be perfect. I mess up every single day. every single day. And like when I did the news, messed up every single day. I accidentally said farted on live TV. Didn't mean to, but it slipped out of my mouth.
Well, that's a better word than other words could have
Right.
been. So.
Yeah.
And we all love like the bloopers. Everyone
Yes.
loves a good blooper.
That was
but-
always a fear of mine, is to be one of the news bloopers.
Really?
But now I
There's
would.
no
That's
such thing as
rotating
bad
around there on
press,
social
though.
media.
What's that?
That's rotating around there on
Yeah,
social
but now I
media.
believe if it happened, I would wear it as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
It's like, see that? I said that.
I did it.
I did.
I'm a real person.
Exactly.
I'm a real one.
That's funny.
So are businesses finding you, or are you going to the businesses and asking them if they would like your services?
So when I first got started, because again, it's like doing something here. Let me back up. I'm a person who really, if I'm going to sell you something or if I'm going to work with you, I want to feel 100 billion% confident that it's going to work for you.
Okay.
And so starting out, like, I was going to a lot of the connections that I've made over the years, through the news or Living Dayton, some of those businesses, and saying, hey, I'm starting this thing. Do you mind letting me just do this for you again for free? Let me just show you this thing. And, if it works for you, we can talk about it after that. But what's most important for me, and what's kind of started everything, is like, I just need people to see that it's an option. Like, I need you to see it, right now from the get-go. Hey, listen, you can promote your business even better if you do it on social media. You use a little bit of shared influence, like I come out, like, because it's adding that credibility.
Yep.
You're getting more eyeballs on it. And then essentially, like, after I create all the content for you, like, we can run ads to it. So it's basically just like what you would see on TV, like having, you're a spokesperson promoting your business or whatever it is. But so, I was going to a lot of people at first, just seeing if they'd be interested in letting me help them out. But where I'm at right now is people are calling me because they're seeing it.
Yeah.
And so, and then that's how anything is. Like, your best form of marketing is just the proof of results.
Yep.
When other people see it, they're like, I want that too.
So do you feel like your background in more of like a corporate setting, do you find that you pull from that to stay motivated and have consistency, or are you just like naturally motivated? I've got to guess.
No,
but-
that's a good question. It's a little bit of both. Like, I've always been a very go kind of person. But it does help having a little bit of that structure, because again, it's kind of like the double-edged sword, and I'm sure that you guys are probably similar, and a lot of people that you'll talk to. If you're somebody who is a go personality, that level of drive is also the same thing that holds you back, because you overthink sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But so it's like, and again, like, if I work with somebody, it's like, I really want to make you happy. And then the only thing that will hold me back sometimes is like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I'm doing enough for you. And so you start feeling inadequate. You start feeling like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not.
Yes.
So I think that's something that we all deal with and battle in our own heads, and realizing that, like, just because it doesn't feel good, like, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It's just you haven't experienced that before. Like, if you're feeling
It's
that
the
fear,
uncomfortable.
it's
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. So hope that makes sense.
It does. I think that makes sense. And it'll probably make sense to anyone who's tried to put themselves out there in any way, shape, or form, just because it's an uncomfortable space to be in if it's not something that you want to do. And even when you want to do it, it's still sometimes like, ugh, I'm not feeling this today, but let's go ahead and do it.
Right. Well, and with so the videos that I've seen that you've helped promote businesses are mostly voiceover type things where they are not in the video, like the business owner is not in the video, or is that incorrect? Or is it just the ones that I've
There's
seen?
a little bit of both. I kind of stick to a similar structure for every business that I do, but everything you kind of have to feel it out. Like, I've done a lot of voiceover stuff, but my favorite is me with the mic talking to the business owner. Both of us are on camera, because I want it to feel like a conversation. I want it to feel like the person who's watching at home, like, hey, this is my friend Emily from Lily's. She's great. Their food's great. And I want to have a conversation, because I want it to feel like a three-way conversation, right?
Yeah.
To where it's like, I'm having a conversation, and oh, hey, friend, like, have you met Emily from Lily's? So that's my favorite kind of content to help create, because I feel like I have this calling, and this is going to sound cheesy, but it's like, I really want to be that local spokesperson. I want to be that person that makes people proud of where they live, and saying, like, I want to be like the friend that you see on social media, like, hey, let me introduce you to my other friend who owns this business.
And then
Like,
there's
that's
lots
how
of
I want
connections
it, that's
made.
how I want it to feel. Like, we're all in this together, and we're all just kind of shared.
Very community based.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
No, that's
grassroots
great.
community based.
Exactly.
I think you're doing that. That's what it looks like.
Trying.
From the outside looking in, that's what it looks
Yeah.
like. The conversations seem very authentic, and you do a good job of making people feel comfortable when you're chatting, I feel
Right.
like.
And
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, because I think that too, like as a like we do a lot of video. And like if we have some crazy idea, it's easier for someone else, like for her to say, "Hey, let's go do this," and then we do it together. Whereas, like you're helping business owners by being on camera with them, because a lot of people don't like video. They don't like how they look when they're on video. They don't like how they sound. And so people just have this, it's just uncomfortable to them, right? So I think like being like with you saying, "Hey, let's come over here, let's do a little conversation." And and then the camera's there. I think that really helps out too.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that for both of you. That means a lot to me. And when I first started, this whole entrepreneurial journey, like that was the focus. Was I just want to help you feel more comfortable on camera. So I started off with this whole coaching thing, and and I chipped away at that for a long time, and I realized something. I don't like it.
What did you not like about that?
Well, so I just like doing the damn thing and
not thinking about it.
And everybody and their brother, and I had, friends and family saying, "Zach, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, why don't you just do it?" And it's like, well, because I would come up with all these different excuses, because at the time I think I was just so focused on like, being able to sell like coaching, consulting, digital products, and just like making it, because I thought that like this is the value that I can bring.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was because of that whole indoctrination that I had from TV that like, maybe the social media thing doesn't make any sense. And if I were to do like, this whole talk show spokesperson thing on social media, maybe it wouldn't work. But I think that was all just some like false belief that I had. That was, that was years ago. And so I was doing a lot of the coaching and consulting and doing seminars, and that's probably where we first came across each other.
You were the keynote speaker at Dayton Area Board of Realtors for, I think, like some kind of event. And I do like doing that. But I just feel as though like I might as well take the thing that I really worked hard to perfect over the past 15 years and just go with that and just, take it in this new trajectory of just being an on-camera personality, working with business owners. And so to me, that just makes so much more sense. And I would say just within the last few months, I kind of had that epiphany, that realization, like, Zach, you've been going about it the wrong way. Why don't you just do the thing that you've been doing? Are you having fun?
I am having fun.
You seem like you're having a good time.
I am, and I'm happy. And I think that's where I went through a little lull for a while, because it's just like, what? That was the question that I woke up to every single day. What are you doing? What am I doing? Because you're constantly, it's constantly a battle with yourself of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I helping people? And then again, that inadequacy sets in to where it's like, I know I want to help people, but I don't feel like I'm doing it right, And so, again, a lot of it was like friends and family saying like, Zach, just do what you always did. Just do
like,
that.
Just jump in.
Right.
Yeah. And
no toes in the water, just go full-fledged go.
And that's the other part, is just being okay with it not being perfect. And that's something that I know that many of us struggle with. And I know I do. And begin, it's like, it's perfection. The need for perfection, ultimately will make you crumble, because it's like you either never take action at all, or you get so worked up that you start like dropping the ball and, messing up.
Yep.
And that was something I definitely dealt with like early in my career, was that need for perfection. And it
right.
was tough.
And so when you mess up on camera, do people even know?
I don't,
unless it's
huge. Here's the little golden nugget for anybody. It's not about if you mess up. It's about how you recover.
Like a dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, if you can make like a dance like where you may have messed up, but you worked it into the dance to where it's like, ooh, that was a hot little move.
Yeah.
There,
a little extra spin.
A little extra spin. Yeah. I meant to do that. So it's the same thing. And it's okay if you stumble over your word, because it's like, that's what you do when you have a conversation.
Right.
If anything is too polished and perfect,
then it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Well, it's scripted. Then it becomes scripted.
Yeah.
And I think people, to your point earlier, people really pick up on that now if it's too scripted.
Too professional looking, I don't know, like
not to AI, to
Right.
ChatGPT
Right.
generated, there's something missing, and people can spot that now. I feel like
everything has gone back to everyone wants something very authentic, whether it's social media. It definitely in social media. I feel like everyone, like around 1920, I think everything was like highly produced and that sort of thing, and then we kind of lost. This is what I'm hearing. We've lost connection with a lot of the authentic part of what social media is all about. And, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I feel like everyone's saying you need to go back to just being you. Like just be you. Don't try to be someone else that you thought that you were or whatever you're comfortable with. And, then that's what you need to do. And don't try to polish it up too much. Mess up a little bit once in a while. And things will work out because people see that and they're like, oh, I mess up that word all the time too. So
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, it's just more relatable when
I agree,
you don't
and I think-
polish it so much.
I feel like we're even seeing that on like a lot of the Sports Center shows, like ESPN, and a lot of the commentators. They're showing them at home. And like the Manning brothers are a good example of that. They're like in
They're
his
in their
friend's garage.
Yeah, I think the more that you can just be yourself, again, like I said earlier, it makes people say, oh, they're like me. And that's what, when you think of the earliest human like tribes, right? You click with people who are like you. And that's what the internet did. It created little clubs like, oh, there's people that like trading Pokemon cards. I'm going to hang out with them. Or there's people that like, talking about real estate on blogs. Like, we're going to talk to them. So that's what it did. It created tribes. And the more that you can just be yourself, you're going to attract people like you and that resonate with your message. And, just to kind of segue real quick, there's something that is just so powerful. I recently came across, this training where it talked about when it comes to building your personal brand, model a superhero. Because superheroes do three things. And that's why they keep making Marvel movies over and over and over again. But superheroes stand for something, they're against something, and they also have flaws. And so let's go back and we talk about Superman. When Superman first came out, he was the most boring superhero in the world. Nobody liked him because he was invincible. He was perfect. Nobody gave a shit about Superman.
Yeah.
When they introduced Kryptonite, like, okay, now he's relatable because people could say, oh, he's like me. And so when I did that personal, exercise on myself, I thought, okay, what are the things that I resonate with, that I stand for, that I'm against, and, my flaws, like if I talk about flaws, like, whether it's like, guilt or inadequacy or, things like that. And the goal is you talk about those things, the things you're for, the things you're against, and your flaws. And so when I did the exercise, mine was Spider-Man. And the more actually I was signing off on an email, and I this is where it kind of clicked, because like
real.
So I was signing off on an email and I said, Zach, you're a local spokesperson. And I looked at it and I'm like, your local neighborhood Spidey. Like that's what I thought of. And so
you click into that?
Yeah, because it's like, I'm all about supporting the little guy. I want to help you. Like, I know I have my own superpower. Like, I know how to, because I spent 15 years perfecting it. And if I can take that and help you, then that's what I stand for.
Right.
So just anybody listening to this or watching this, like, find a superhero that you like and align your personal brand with theirs.
Oh, that's
in costume
so
and
interesting.
everything. That's the next step is the costume.
Are you wearing the costume out and about?
I'm wearing my costume.
So
now.
you sing. Wait, you sing. You sing some, right? Do you sing? Are you in a band? Did I see this somewhere?
I've always played music. Yeah,
Okay.
like I have my own little solo album, and
So do you wear the Spider-Man costume for this?
Yeah.
Is that
I
also
wear
like
nothing
your?
on stage? No.
Oh, okay. Whoa, now it got real.
It was a yellow cap, right? Like I don't know, that might fly there.
It might. No. I see. I've always. That's the other thing that like, I like to be as simple as possible. I like a pair of black jeans, a black T-shirt, and Chucks.
So that's your uniform.
That's my uniform. Today I kind of zhuzhed it up for you. Like I got blue jeans on. I got my own branded polo to make things seem official.
We are also branded.
I see that. Ooh, I like that. I like it. But yeah, like that's what like what's his name? Like Mark Zuckerberg. like,
what's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? But like they talk about something like have limited options when you get dressed. It's one less thing to think about. And honestly, like I went to Catholic school growing up.
I'm so grateful for uniforms. Uniforms are the best.
Well, at the time when you're going through it, you're like, this is stupid. And like when you had an out of uniform day, you're like, oh my God,
what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear?
I got one like that.
I get to wear my cool Abercrombie and Fitch polo that I got,
It's just been sitting in my closet.
It's just been sitting in my closet waiting for people to check it out. I've heard Abercrombie's coming back though in a big way.
It is.
Oh, really?
I've heard
I
about
think so
that
too. Yeah, despite the negative press for women like my age, it's becoming a real thing. Like they've got some of the best jeans out there again, like with the jeans, but they're simplifying the style to the point you guys were just making. It's very simplistic.
Yeah,
like the palette and everything. It's very
well. I'm curious too because like I love a black T-shirt. Like again, just plain as I can be, but I remember like they did not sell anything black. Like that was against their their manual or whatever their brand guide. That's what I'm looking for.
Brand guide.
Their brand guide, like nothing black in this store. But now times have changed.
Because everyone wears black. I mean, I think you probably see more black than anything anymore. Anyone can wear black.
It's just my favorite, and just like
exactly.
a plain
you don't have to
T-shirt.
think about it.
Yeah,
yeah.
The logo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where do you see your business going in the next 5 years?
Here's the goal. The goal is to continue what I'm doing, so I have this service that I'm doing now where I call it a pit stop.
Oh,
I like that. I like the pun. Play on words.
It's like, hey, I'm going to make a pit stop by your business, and we're going to do a Facebook Live to promote your business. And so that's that's where I start. Like if I'm working with somebody brand new I've never met, and that's like the first foot in the door. And then there's other opportunities where we can do some more things. But what I ultimately want to do is continue doing that and have a weekly live stream show that is streamed to, all the social media channels that I bring on guests, where that same stream is sent out to their audience as well. And again, I'm using my previous experience as my template, but like it's very similar to what like Living Dayton is, but for social media. And I want it to be as simple to manage and run as possible, because right now it's me, myself, and I have a few VAs that help me with some editing, but I want to be able to be the on-camera guy, the producer, director, all at the same time. So I have a little studio that I built, in my place downtown. I mean, lights hanging from the ceiling, teleprompter and I haven't launched it yet, but the goal is to create all this content during the week and then feature them on that live stream show. So it's shared on social media, but now I have content to, hey, this is happening this weekend in Dayton. This is happening this weekend. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. And, it's all the content that I shot earlier that week. Oh, so that's where I'm going.
Okay.
You guys just got the first.
I guess so. You just dropped it.
We got the scoop.
You got it. So that's where I'm going. And, like I said, I'm making it up as I go. I have a template to follow, knowing what I did before. The biggest thing that I struggle with, though, is trying to do it everything myself. And I think that many of us struggle because it's like, nobody can do it like me.
Right.
But what I've also learned is if you hire somebody, you're paying for that speed and their expertise. Mm-hmm. That's what you're paying for. Because like yesterday, for example, I was trying to make a graphic for a video that I put together for El Mason, and I'm like, this looks like a third grader did this, and it was
you can feature third graders then.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
It was so awful. And so I quickly just sent a message to one of my VAs. I'm like, hey, can you help me with this? And
seconds.
She had it done in 20 minutes, if that.
And you just spent an hour on it. You're like,
oh my gosh. I kept looking at it and just being so bummed out. I'm like, this thing is awful. And she knocked it out in 15, 20 minutes.
Well, and you're disconnected from it then also. That someone else did it and it's easier to kind of just pop it out there.
Yeah. Because the thing is, again, if I were to shoot something, I'm going to pick it apart. Because I'm like, oh, Zach,
true.
You said this too many times. Or, you're
trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
Do you rewatch back?
Yeah. But I do watch back and I watch it from a couple different standpoints. One, to critique what I could have done better, but I'm getting better at not picking myself apart and being like, no, this is good. You're but next time maybe you just do this. Whereas before I'd be like, Zach, you fucking suck. Like, why do people
5 minutes in?
like, this is awful. This is garbage.
What am I doing with my life?
What am I doing with my life? And I used to be like that.
Negative death spiral.
Very, very. And I just would get so in my head. And, so I'll watch stuff back, like, what could I do better? And try to come up with different ideas. And, I think you have to, I don't know how, I think you have to admire your own work. It's what motivates you to keep going. Like, I have an album.
Be doing something right.
I have an album. I listen to it all the time because I'm like, this is.
I love it.
This is great shit.
Give it to my family all the time.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
It's like,
Did you guys hear this one?
I may have a
pop.
closet, full of like unsold vinyl and CDs, and like that just sits there. But I know the shit's good.
Somebody else out there for sure would love it too, right? You're bringing your people.
Bringing the people, and and the thing. Yeah, you have to do that. You have to support yourself, and
you do.
And I hope that you guys do the same thing. Like, I hope, like, after you guys, like, whether you finally have a client, like, find their house, it's like having a glass of wine, giving yourself a pat on the back, and saying, like, yeah, I did a good job because they're happy now.
Right.
And I think that you have to do that because that motivates you to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good state, and that's hard to do sometimes, but it's Like, being on camera is your job, and it's hard to say I did a great job doing my on-camera gig, right?
Yeah. No, and I don't know.
Are you ever like, oh, this one was fire. This one was 100% on point. I love this one.
Okay, so like recently, do you know the name Jim Booker?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he was helping me shoot some things, and we were doing some Facebook Lives, and like we did a Facebook Live at El Maison, we did a Facebook Live at this place called Cedarland Bakery. It's a Lebanese. It's delicious. But we watched this Facebook Live over and over and over and over. And he was watching it from his standpoint of like, it's like, man, like that angle was, because he was a photographer. That's where he got his start, and he's incredibly talented at it. And he was watching from that standpoint. And I'm loving the movements. I'm loving the way that we were able to bounce from this person in the interview to this one, and we were geeking out about it because it's like, this looks really good. This sounds really good. We don't see anybody else doing this. Like, this is great.
Right.
Now I'm saying this now. There's going to be some asshole out there that's like, I'm going to do that now.
But that's the greatest form of flattery.
Yes.
Right. When someone copies you.
And I'm okay with that now because honestly, and I don't mean this as an arrogant way, because it applies to everybody. Nobody's going to do it like me.
That's correct.
Like
Nobody's
you.
going to do it like you. Nobody's going to do it like you. And honestly, that is the secret sauce.
Yep.
You're totally right.
There are tons of people selling homes and but you have a secret sauce. You have a secret sauce that makes you successful. And it's like, that's what makes, and again, going back to TV, you watch this channel because you like this weather person. You watch this channel because you like the sports guy. You watch because you like the people.
Right. Yep.
That's
a good
what
point.
it's all about.
Yeah, everyone's saying the same thing.
Bullshit.
Over and over again.
And over and over again.
No, you don't have to do that.
We still got a half a bottle of wine here, and I got a lot more to fire up on.
Where else do we need to go? Oh,
I feel like we've covered a lot, actually.
Yeah. We already talked about the misconception. So you're marketing, you just market yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys, how you liking the podcast so far? How you enjoying doing this?
We were just talking about this. I know.
Yeah.
This isn't a reverse interview here.
Right now, this is changing.
Can I flex my my skill set here?
Knock it out. Let's go.
What do you like about this podcast so far? Not the one that we're doing currently, but I'm saying like
today
using this like natural conversation to get to meet somebody else, adding value to people who listen or watch your podcast. Like, what do you like about this medium?
So we were talking about this yesterday or the day before. We're learning things from our guests. Each one we're taking like a little tidbit from as we move through it. And I don't know that's something that we expected when we came into this. We were just like, hey, let's showcase local businesses. Let's talk, because we talk plenty. We don't mind talking. We don't mind doing video. But everyone's giving us a little nugget as we're going through this.
With it.
Yeah. And for me, that's the best part. That's the part I'm enjoying the most. I haven't watched any of these. Like, I'll be honest with you. I've not. I listened to the one that I put on Spotify, but I have not watched any of these.
Yeah.
And usually I do. I'll watch our lives back just to kind of critique myself. But this time I was just like, I can't change it.
Right. No, you can't. So I've been thinking about doing something like this for years, and I was going to call it Sandwiches with Stephanie. And I was going to invite local businesses.
Sandwiches.
And
You're going to chew on camera?
I was going to chew on camera. We were going to make sandwiches together and then relate our business to our sandwiches. Now someone's going to steal it right now.
You shouldn't have said that.
See,
And I've been thinking about it, and then all of a sudden, like, we had kind of tossed it around, and all of a sudden we were like, are we doing this or not? And then, yeah, so it's been really, like, I always find it, like, I love one-on-one, like small group conversation. So for me, this is awesome because I always want to learn about people and where they come from and their background and that sort of thing. And so for me, that's what it's fulfilling that, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
you like deep conversation. And I think I do too. So it's one of the things that we have in common. We'll like go to coffee and it's 2 hours or something. We're like,
wait,
why are we
what? I
even
need to go
talking
pick up
about
the
this?
kids.
Yeah.
that's again, you get lost in the conversation. You might set out like. As soon as we started our conversation, I think we went off the rails like at least half a dozen times.
We did.
But it also like it just feels good to connect with people. It just does. And I think that's what I love about a podcast. And I'm spinning a lot of plates. So like I was doing a podcast for a while, and I want to get it back up and going at some point. But that was my favorite part was you forget. Cameras are there.
Yeah.
You forget you're talking into a mic.
Yep.
I'm just, right now I'm having a conversation with,
Right.
2 people and I'm enjoying it. And I think that's where that authenticity comes from because you forget that you have an audience. You get back to interpersonal connection, And I think that's why people love podcasts so much. And to your point too, like when I was doing it, I love the nuggets, not only the nuggets that, I would get directly from the guest, they would say something that was insightful that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to jot that one down, store that one away. But it would also give me personal insight. They say something and then you reflect on it, an hour or 2 after that podcast, or maybe just even a week, like something pops in your head. I'm like, oh wow, I wouldn't have had that insight or that thought if that person didn't make that comment.
Right.
And I think that's great because, that's why people love podcasts because it's a form of education, entertainment, and real. And so
I think that is why people have rotated to, like, I don't listen to music in my car anymore. I listen to podcasts in my car. It drives my kids crazy. But unless they control the music, which a lot of times they do, but I'm like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. Let's listen to a podcast.
Yeah,
because,
let's get something out of this.
Right. If I'm in my car, and we're in our car a lot, and it just makes more sense and it's entertaining. I always listen to stuff that's entertaining. I want, like, humor. I want lighthearted.
So, have you heard of the Smartless podcast? It's like
you need to be schooled on some podcasts. I think.
It's Will Arnett, Jason Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
And Sean Hayes.
And Sean Hayes.
I think I listened to one episode. And I not that I didn't like it. I think I just listened to it once. But speaking of those 3, did you guys ever watch Murderville?
No.
It's on Netflix, and it's basically Will Arnett, and it's like kind of like
The title is not going with the
but what it is, it's like a who did it sort of deal. But everything is scripted out, like Will Arnett and everybody else, but they bring on a celebrity guest, and that person, it's all improv. Like they have no idea what's going on. And so there was an episode that they did for Christmas. It was like a Christmas edition, but they had Jason Bateman as the celebrity guest, and Will Arnett, like he has this mustache. He plays this detective. He's like, "What do you think?" Like, and so they have no idea. So it's like at the very end of the episode, it's like, who did it? And the celebrity guest has to they're literally like paying attention. They're not on script. Everybody else is.
So it's like Clue?
It's like Clue.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's
called Murderville.
Interesting.
But anyway, there was an episode where it had all 3 of those guys on it for the Christmas episode. It was really good. It was funny.
So we kind of modeled this after Smartless.
Okay.
In a way.
In a way, but not really. Yeah.
Kind of.
Because we both listen to it, and it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a good brain break.
Yeah. It's a lighthearted podcast, and
so I really love the show, and I have a feeling it's probably similar to this one. I love the show. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So and those guys have their own podcast, and I think
they do.
I think it should still be available. I don't know. I listened to a couple episodes, but I love seeing the real version of somebody, especially when they're actors and they just kind of talk about things.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're so curious what's going on behind the curtain when it's someone that you kind of think you might know a little bit, which
Well, that's rotating back then, coming back to social media, and what you're doing is like you're bringing folks in, and you're trying to get people to see the other side of them. So not just this is Lily's and this is Emily, like, oh, this is Emily, this is the face behind Lily's, and this is what she's really like. Like she's she's separate, but she's the same. But she does have a personality also.
Yeah.
Well, I always got to see the other side. Like before, like
not everyone does.
Coming in between segments, I always saw the real person. And the thing is, like, if there was one, thank you so much. If there was one compliment that like has always stuck with me, and I think this is what kind of keeps me going, and is when somebody was nervous, like when I worked in TV, like, listen, I was so nervous about coming on here. Like I was freaking out. You made that so easy. Like you allowed me to like relax. That's what's always stuck with me. And I think that's why I started going from that consultant sort of like perspective at first. Like, let me coach you and consult and like help you feel better, like better on camera. And I realized like, no, it's the way that I ask the questions. It's the way that like I make you forget there's a camera
literally
there.
you.
Yeah. And I don't, and see, there's a piece of me that always feels like uncomfortable accepting that, but that is,
it's a gift.
It's a gift, but we all have it. We all have it. It's a matter of just like allowing yourself to use it.
Well, that's true.
That's all
true.
it is.
But you're kind of like, come on, friend, take a ride with me type thing.
Yeah.
And so,
and that's the thing that always I loved is, helping people just be the best versions of themselves on camera, and
that's your business right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Be the best version of yourself on camera. So
I'm helping you with that,
people
though.
can see what you have to offer, what you,
because we're always curious.
We're always curious.
Always wondering.
Thank you very much for the wine, by the way.
Yeah. Like, what is Zac Pitts like behind scenes? He's
She's
wino.
asking. Yeah.
I'm not. We just figured it out.
Pretty open book. Pretty open book. No, no, this is really fun. I really enjoy this. This is
we have enjoyed, like, we're like, oh, it'll, like, we'll have people on. They'll be like 15 minutes or whatever.
Not yet. We're almost
like
at an hour, and
usually an
Abby's
hour.
like, hey, we got to cut this at an hour. Like, this is too long.
We're like, no, but
no
we're having
way.
fun.
We talked for this long.
Are you saying right now?
It's about an hour. Yeah.
Okay, I'm late for a meeting right now.
Oh, shit.
Are you really? How long did you think you were going to talk to us?
You told me like 45 minutes. But here's the deal. That's what I love about a podcast. Time flies.
It does.
It's perfect.
It does.
I mean, I really, it's great. I love everything about a podcast.
It is. It's
so
just,
we will have all of your socials tagged on here when we start posting things and share.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, not that you wouldn't.
Do you mind if I plug something real quick?
Yeah.
Go.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, again, like, my number one goal is to help businesses really get the word out about what they do. That's my number one goal. And so, as I said, I have that pit stop that I'm doing.
Yes.
I love that.
And this is where it's going to like make you say like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Basically what I do is I come out, we'll do a Facebook Live, and, we'll promote it. Hey, we're going to go out and be live and promote what you do. We'll be live about, 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. And we're going to make sure that your audience sees it, my audience sees it, because Facebook prioritizes live videos. So a lot of people will see it. It's $100. That's it.
I was going to ask you if you were going to say that for the charge.
It's $100.
That's incredible.
It's $100 because here's the deal.
How many eyes see that at $100?
Exactly. It's $100 because, and here I'll tell you exactly, and I'm going to be transparent with you. Why is it only $100? Because we're both benefiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You sure are.
Like you're being exposed to your audience and more, and people are seeing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Mm-hmm. So it's like I know what media agencies and I know what TV stations charge for that.
It's not $100.
It's not $100. It's not, because the thing is, it's like, will that change at some point? Maybe as it grows, maybe. Grocery prices sure have risen.
I think it's your prerogative to make that
has
shift.
To.
But
At this point right now, I know it's something that can help businesses, and it'd be selfish of me to not make it accessible.
Right.
Because
selfish. Businesses are not going to do that themselves either.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like there's a couple different things in there. I mean, there you have the fact that it looks professional. It's a very, the way it looks. You have the shared influence effect on there. It allows you to feel more comfortable.
So back up once. So not everyone, I don't think, knows what you mean by shared influence. So can you kind of explain?
Oh.
I mean, we know what that means, but it's just, it kind of like, you've said it a couple of times. I'm like, wait, he probably should explain that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm getting shared influence right now. You guys, my brand is being exposed to your audience right now. So like what I have to offer is being shown to more people. And so the same thing, like I'm going to come over to you and promote what you have going on. My audience is going to see it too. There's shared influence, but it's also a level deeper. And this is where it took me a long time to accept that it's valuable, because it's again, inherently, I think we all kind of like, the most important thing you have is your self-worth, right? And sometimes you might feel inadequate about something, but realizing that like when I work with somebody, like, one of the deeper things that I have, it's like, hey, recommended by Zac Pitts, because it's like, I want it to feel like, hey, I really like going to this place. This place is great. Like, this is I love a chicken shawarma from Cedarland University.
I watched that one and I felt like, I don't know if that was 100% true or not, but 100%. It made me want to go try it. I haven't yet, but
I go there 4 days a week.
Okay, so that was that was not bullshit.
No, not bullshit. It is real shit. But that's how I want everything to feel. So that shared influence is like, I kind of resonate with Zac. Like, I feel comfortable with him, and he says, check this place out. Like, I trust him. I'm going to go check that place out. And so that's what that shared influence is. It's like, will you guys maybe watch Murderville at some point?
We probably will.
I will.
Okay.
So shared, it's just literally recommending, and it's just, that's all it is. That's the best form of marketing. You guys get referrals. Okay. And, and those are your best clients sometimes. Because there's built-in trust there.
Right.
Trust is the number one thing that allows all of us to,
so hard to gain.
It's very hard to gain, and it's very easy to lose too.
Yes, that's a good point. Yep.
So
if I go there and I think the chicken shawarma is shit, I'll be like, Zac is shit.
She'll be like posting on here like, hey, no, this is incorrect.
This is the worst chicken shawarma.
Here's what I will tell you. I'm going to give you the insider. I would get the chicken kebab sandwich and not the chicken shawarma sandwich.
Oh.
That's my insider.
More inside information.
Right.
More. You learn a thing or two from me.
Obviously.
All right. Anything else? I think this was great.
No, this was awesome.
I appreciate
this gave us some and then more.
Yeah.
I know.
And some, right?
Yeah.
Got some behind
I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate
yeah.
what you guys are doing, because, like, we're doing something similar, and you're doing, what you guys know how to do.
We're doing better? Oh.
You're doing better. You have a better set. You bring wine. I'm like, would you like some tap water?
We don't have ice.
Like some Montgomery County
I don't
tap
have
water?
ice though. So you're kind of fucked there. I'm very grateful and appreciative that you guys invited me to be part of this. I think it's excellent what you guys are doing. Excellent what you're building for local businesses. And I believe that for anybody who's watching or listening, to do your own version of this. It doesn't have to be podcast, but do something that showcases your personality while at the same time builds other people up, because what's the point of this life if you're not doing that? Like, it's meant to be shared. And so I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what I'm doing to keep that ripple effect going.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. I was like kind of nervous to ask you. I was like, I'm gonna ask, but
oh, I got super giddy because I did because it's like usually me doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So right.
Like, it's nice to be on the other side of the microphone. You know what I mean? It's freeing.
Well, you couldn't go an hour without flipping the script, so you did interview us.
You had to bulldoze your way in
I
there.
just, had to flex it.
Like, no, this is the way you guys should do it.
No, we're gonna do this.
We're doing it this way now. But I will definitely get this Cooper's Hawk.
I know
Pinot
Pinot Noir. It's really
Noir.
good.
I'm not usually a red wine guy, but
Really?
I guessed wrong.
well, it's the
You seem like a
the
red
Catholic
wine guy.
boy that like drinking that red wine all my
Juice
life.
box.
Juice box.
The barefoot.
The barefoot.
I don't think it was even barefoot.
I don't mean to like keep this conversation going longer, but how do you guys feel about Franzia?
That's what the wine
Is it? I haven't had that since like middle school when we used to sneak it out of one of the
Middle school.
We used to sneak it out of the refrigerator at one of my friends' houses. Her mom always had it, like the box, you know.
Jessica is a bad influence.
Yeah. Prairie dogs. I'll meet you
I
at
don't know that I
Milano's.
can handle that. I think that's out of my scope.
We're in Milano's a lot, actually.
You're gonna have
well,
to find out.
not as much as what we used to be, but yeah, it's funny.
Find out. You just pounded that.
He said he was to be at a
you're ready
meeting.
for your meeting.
I know. Yep. But you didn't
Now
want
I
to
can
go to.
tolerate the meeting. It's like,
Luckily, this won't air like soon. It'll be like a week or so. So whoever you're having this meeting with, they won't know
They
that
won't
it's them.
know because no one knows the time of day.
that's true. That's true. Unless I name drop them right now. No. No, thank you
think
very
Got
much.
really
Offended
quiet.
No, this has been great. I really appreciate this opportunity. I
Yeah,
really do.
thanks
I
Thanks
really
for
know
coming
how-
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were great.
Yes.
Cool.
Very insightful. I loved it.